Greece. Two words spelled almost the exact same, yet they aren't. And they sound very similar. Now, those two words are grease, as in the grease you'll find on your pizza whenever it ain't cooked right. I'm gonna be real with you. If it's got tons of grease on my pizza, I don't want it. I don't care how tasty it is. Or you can think of a place. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because today's quote is a Greek proverb. All things good to know are difficult to learn. I interpret it as, if it's difficult, it's good. I disagree with today's quote. It is completely wrong. It is incorrect. And I'll give you two main points on to show you why they are wrong, and I'll be telling you about puzzles and sports. Things in life that are difficult that I want to do, but at the same time I don't want to do it because it's so difficult and I don't want to learn it, are puzzles. And like an example of this is a Rubik's Cube. Man, I want to be able to solve a Rubik's Cube. It looks cool. That's about it. I want to solve it because it looks cool. But this is difficult to learn. I don't want to just go look up on the internet how to solve Rubik's Cube. I want to learn it the hard way by trial and error. But if you listen to today's quote, it is telling you that this Rubik's Cube it's something good to know. But learning to solve a Rubik's Cube is completely unnecessary to know in life. If you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, by the end of your life, it's not going to be helpful. When you're laying there in a casket, dead, your family isn't going to be like, oh, he was able to solve a Rubik's Cube. They're going to be like, oh, he was a smart kid. As a kid, he could solve a Rubik's Cube. Congratulations. And then I have a brother who's, as a kid, was always loved to do puzzles. Now, there was one puzzle in particular that stuck out to me. I believe it was a puzzle around 1,000 pieces, and it was a candy cane puzzle. This thing was impossible. You look at it, and it is all red and white. Because that's what candy canes are. The stereotypical candy cane you're going to see at the Christmas time is red and white. That's what this entire puzzle was. And now it took him so long. It took him months of dedicated work to solve this puzzle. And what did he get out of it? Nothing besides the satisfaction of being able to solve this puzzle. Now, if we go back to our quote today, all things good to know are difficult to learn. This isn't a good thing. This puzzle that he solved, this candy cane puzzle, is not a good thing. It's something cool, but it's not something that's going to help him in life. And there's only one thing that you could bring up that'd be helpful to it. Oh, he was dedicated. It shows he has dedication to something completely useless. That's never going to forward something to him in life. This isn't going to help him with anything. Now, Pete Rose was once quoted to say, I would walk through hell in a gasoline suit to play baseball. Now, this quote shows that he has love and passion for the sport of baseball. Now, in baseball, there's something about baseball that is so hard. Hitting a baseball. It is the hardest thing to do in sports. Deion Sanders, who played basketball, football, and baseball. He also ran track. He coaches college football. He did all of these things at a high level. And he said that the hardest thing he ever did was try to hit a baseball. It was the one thing he couldn't master. And that's why baseball is such a hard sport. Just being able to hit a baseball, one of the basic things in baseball, is the hardest thing to do in all sports. Now, For some people, for most people in the world, if you learn how to hit a baseball, there's going to be those people that are a lot better than you at hitting it. And those people are going to make millions of dollars while you're making nothing because you weren't good enough. And yet this thing was still so difficult for you to learn, but it got you nothing. It got you nowhere. Unless if this is going to get you into the minors or major leagues, it really didn't get you much. That's coming from someone who is playing collegiate baseball, is a collegiate athlete. So I have personal experience in this. Now, another thing, it might not be considered a sport, but you might as well call it a sport. Mahjong. If you don't know what Mahjong is, it is a Chinese game. It's kind of a board game. Now, Mahjong has these rules that are very difficult to learn. All these pieces that are hard to learn. It's time consuming. Now, again, if we come back to our quote, all things good to know are difficult to learn. Mahjong is something that's difficult to learn, but is it a good thing to know? I wouldn't say so. Your average person isn't going to know or care about Mahjong. This Mahjong isn't going to have an effect in your daily life. So there's no reason to learn this, even though it's so difficult. Now, again, our quote today, all things good to know are difficult to learn. The Greek proverb. Now, I showed you through sports and puzzles that this statement is incorrect. It's just blatantly not true. And that's why, is it really good to know things that are difficult? Thank you.